Imagine a world where gods wage war against giants, where fate is written by mysterious weavers, and where the end of all things is just another beginning. This is Norse mythology, a tale of bravery, destiny, and the eternal cycles of life and death. Let's step into this epic world and uncover its secrets. Norse mythology is the belief system of the ancient Norse people, Vikings, farmers, and seafarers who lived in Scandinavia over 1,000 years ago. For them, these stories were more than myths. They were a way to explain the world, the forces of nature, and the meaning of life. Through these tales, they explored the struggles between chaos and order, life and death, gods and giants. It's a universe where every decision, every battle, and every moment carries the weight of fate. How do we know these stories today? The main sources are two medieval texts, the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda, written in Iceland in the 13th century. The Prose Edda by Snorri Sturluson is a guidebook to the myths, while the Poetic Edda is a collection of ancient poems that bring the gods, giants, and heroes to life. Together, they preserve the wisdom and imagination of a culture that revered the gods, but also embraced the inevitability of their downfall. These stories survived centuries, shaping how we view myth and storytelling even now. At the core of Norse mythology are three profound themes. Fate. Everything is guided by fate, even for the gods. The Norns, mystical beings who weave the threads of destiny, ensure that no one escapes what is meant to be. Bravery. Courage isn't about avoiding death, it's about facing it with honor. The heroes and gods of Norse mythology know their ends are inevitable, but they meet them head-on, shaping their legacy with every act of valor. Cycles. In Norse mythology, there's no true ending. The destruction of the world, Ragnarök, is followed by its rebirth. It's a story of endings leading to new beginnings, of hope rising from the ashes. These themes, fate, bravery, and the cycles of life, form the heart of Norse mythology. They remind us of life's fleeting nature and the importance of living with courage and purpose. But this is just the beginning of our journey. Next, we'll explore how it all began, when fire and ice collided in the Great Void to give birth to the cosmos and the first beings. The story of Norse mythology starts with creation and the sparks that shaped everything. Before the world as we know it existed, there was only emptiness, a vast, formless void called Ginnungagap. From this mysterious expanse came the clash of fire and ice, and with it the birth of gods, giants, and the very land we walk on today. Let's dive deeper into the fascinating creation of the Norse cosmos. In the beginning, there was Ginnungagap, a vast nothingness. But this void was bordered by two extreme realms. Niflheim, to the north, was a realm of eternal frost, shrouded in thick mist and filled with icy rivers. To the south lay Muspelheim, a land of unbearable heat, ruled by Surtur, the fire giant who wielded a flaming sword that could destroy worlds. When the freezing cold of Niflheim met the blazing heat of Muspelheim in the center of Ginnungagap, something extraordinary happened. The ice began to melt, and as it did, life emerged in the form of Ymir, the first giant. Ymir was the ancestor of all giants, and his form was as immense as it was chaotic. He was neither good nor evil, but his existence symbolized raw, untamed power. As Ymir slept, his body produced more life. From the sweat of his armpits came a male and female giant. From his legs came a six-headed giant, continuing the line of frost giants. But Ymir was not alone for long. From the ice emerged a great cow named Odhumla. She nourished Ymir with her milk, while she herself survived by licking the salty ice blocks around her. This simple act would change everything. Odhumla's licking uncovered Buri, the first god. Buri was strong, wise, and noble, and he eventually fathered a son named Bor. Bor married a giantess named Bestla, and together they had three sons, Odin, Vili, and Ve, the first of the Aesir gods and the architects of the universe as we know it. These brothers, filled with ambition and a desire for order, looked upon Ymir and the chaotic world of giants. They knew that to create a world fit for gods and mortals, the old chaos had to be destroyed. In one of the first great battles of Norse mythology, Odin, Vili, and Ve rose against Ymir. The fight was fierce, and when Ymir fell, his massive body became the foundation of the world. Ymir's flesh was transformed into the earth. His blood became the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His bones formed the mountains, and his teeth became rocks and pebbles. His skull was lifted high to form the sky, and the brothers placed four dwarves, named Nordri, Sudri, Ostri, and Vestri, to hold it aloft, representing the four cardinal directions. Even Ymir's brains were used. They were cast into the sky to form the clouds, showing how every part of creation had a role. With the sky in place, the brothers took fiery sparks from Muspelheim and flung them into the heavens. These sparks became the stars, illuminating the new world. At the center of this cosmos, the gods planted Yggdrasil, the world tree. Its branches reached across the heavens, and its roots delved deep into the realms below, connecting all things. Yggdrasil became the anchor of existence, tying together the 9 realms that made up the Norse universe. The world was not just a single realm, but a collection of 9, each with its own purpose and inhabitants. Asgard, the home of the Aesir gods. Midgard, the realm of humans. Jotunheim, where the giants lived. Helheim, the realm of the dead, and many others, all tied together by the roots and branches of Yggdrasil. From the destruction of Ymir came the order of the cosmos. The gods had created a world from chaos, but it was a fragile balance, and challenges were already brewing. The giants, though defeated, were not gone, and their rivalry with the gods would shape the fate of the universe. But how did the gods establish their rule? And what role did humans play in this grand design? Join us in the next chapter as we uncover the rise of the gods and the creation of humanity. The 9 realms, each a separate world connected by the mighty Yggdrasil. But how do these realms fit together? And what is the true power of the great world tree? In this chapter, we'll unlock the secrets of Yggdrasil and explore the realms that make up the heart of Norse mythology. At the center of all existence in Norse mythology stands Yggdrasil, the world tree. This enormous sacred ash tree binds together the 9 realms with its vast roots and branches. Its towering trunk reaches high into the heavens, while its roots stretch deep into the underworlds, forming the very foundation of the cosmos. Yggdrasil is no ordinary tree. It is the axis of the universe. The gods, giants, humans, and creatures alike all exist within its reach. Its cosmic significance is so great that the health of the realms depends on the well-being of the tree itself. Now, let's take a closer look at the 9 realms, each connected to Yggdrasil, each with its own unique characteristics and inhabitants. These realms form the entire Norse cosmos. 1. Asgard, home of the Aesir gods like Odin, Thor, and Frigg. It's a place of power, beauty, and divine rule, where the gods govern and protect the universe. Asgard is often depicted as a shining city in the sky, accessible only by the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. 2. Midgard, our world, the realm of humans. Midgard is connected to Asgard by the Bifrost, allowing the gods to visit the realm of men. It's a place of mortality, struggle, and growth. 3. Jotunheim, the land of the Jotnar, the giants. These creatures are powerful and often in conflict with the gods. Jotunheim is a harsh, untamed wilderness where the giants rule and the world is filled with chaos and destruction. 4. Niflheim, the realm of ice and cold, inhabited by the dead and home to the terrifying Hel. It's a desolate, frozen land where darkness and frost reign supreme. 5. Muspelheim, a fiery, scorching land ruled by the fire giant Surtur. This realm represents chaos and destruction, and it's said that it will play a significant role in the coming events of Ragnarök, the end of the world. 6. Alfheim, the realm of the Light Elves. Known for their beauty and grace, the Light Elves are celestial beings who dwell in a land of light, nature, and serenity. 7. Svartalfheim, home of the Dark Elves, or dwarfs. This realm is a subterranean world of stone and metal, filled with skilled craftsmen who create powerful artifacts like Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. 8. Vanaheim, the realm of the Vanir gods, a race of deities associated with fertility, prosperity, and nature. While the Vanir once fought against the Aesir, they eventually made peace, and the realms became interconnected. 9. Helheim, the realm ruled by Hel, the daughter of Loki. This is where the souls of those who die from sickness or old age travel, a place of cold and shadow where the dead dwell in peace or torment. Each of these realms plays a vital role in Norse cosmology, and their relationships with one another affect the balance of the universe. Yggdrasil isn't just a tree, it's the keystone of the entire Norse universe. Its roots reach deep into the realms of the dead and chaos, while its branches stretch out into the divine and mortal worlds. It's the cosmic thread that ties everything together. Without Yggdrasil, the 9 realms would be disconnected, lost to time and space. The gods rely on the world tree to maintain the balance of the realms. Every realm has its own relationship with Yggdrasil. For example, the Norns, the 3 sisters of fate, dwell beside Yggdrasil and weave the destinies of all living beings, both mortal and divine. They carve runes into the tree's bark, shaping the future with each stroke. At its roots, Yggdrasil is sustained by the Well of Erd, a mystical source of water that grants wisdom and power. The gods drink from this well to ensure their knowledge and strength remain boundless. But this well is not the only force protecting Yggdrasil. There are also ancient creatures like the Nidhogg, a dragon who gnaws at the roots of the tree, trying to bring it down. But as long as the gods remain vigilant, Yggdrasil stands strong. As the Norse myths unfold, Yggdrasil's importance becomes even clearer. When the time of Ragnarök, the end of the world, arrives, it will be Yggdrasil that holds the key to the fate of the 9 realms. The gods, giants, and all creatures will fight in a cataclysmic battle that will tear through the realms, but Yggdrasil will survive the destruction. In the aftermath of Ragnarök, Yggdrasil will remain standing, a symbol of renewal and rebirth. Just as the tree has weathered the storms of time, so too will the realms be reborn from the ashes of destruction. Yggdrasil is more than just a tree. It's a living, breathing representation of the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Its roots anchor the past, its trunk supports the present, and its branches stretch into the future. Every realm connected by Yggdrasil holds a piece of the grand design. Together, they form a tapestry of life, a tapestry that will be torn apart and rewoven time and time again. In the next chapter, we'll explore the mighty gods who walk the 9 realms and their timeless struggles. Stay with us as the story of Norse mythology continues to unfold. The gods of Norse mythology are both powerful and complex, each with their own domain and purpose in the cosmos. From the mighty Odin, the wise All-Father, to Thor, the god of thunder, to Loki, the trickster, these deities shape the world in ways both magnificent and terrifying. But their history isn't just about divine rule. It's also about conflict, war, and unification. In this chapter, we'll explore the Aesir and Vanir gods, their roles, and how they became one united pantheon. First, let's meet some of the key gods of the Aesir and Vanir pantheons. Odin, the All-Father, the chief god of the Aesir, is a figure of wisdom, war, and magic. He is the god who sacrificed an eye to gain knowledge of the cosmos, and he is the ruler of Asgard. Odin is often depicted as a wanderer, seeking wisdom through sacrifice and experience. His primary role is to maintain balance in the realms, ensuring that order prevails, especially as the forces of chaos stir. Thor, the son of Odin. Thor is the god of thunder, storms, and protection. With his hammer Mjolnir, Thor defends the gods and humanity from the giants and other forces of chaos. His strength is unmatched, and his bravery is legendary, making him one of the most beloved gods in Norse mythology. Freyr, a key figure in the Vanir pantheon. Freyr is the god of fertility, prosperity, and good harvests. He represents peace and abundance, often seen as the ideal god to bring wealth and happiness to both mortals and gods. Freya, also of the Vanir, is the goddess of love, beauty, and war. She is a fierce warrior, yet she also represents the softer aspects of life, including magic and fertility. Freya's power is unmatched when it comes to love and relationships, and she is often associated with Valhalla, where brave warriors are chosen to enter after their death. Loki, the trickster god. Loki's role is both mysterious and essential. While he is often seen as a mischief maker, Loki's actions, though chaotic, serve a greater purpose in Norse mythology, sometimes helping the gods, other times causing them trouble. Loki's ability to shapeshift and manipulate the world makes him an unpredictable force. While the Aesir and Vanir gods are often depicted together, their relationship didn't start out this way. In fact, the two pantheons were once enemies. The Aesir-Vanir War was a fierce and bloody conflict that nearly tore the realms apart. The Vanir, with their focus on nature, fertility, and peace, clashed with the Aesir gods, who were more concerned with war, wisdom, and order. The war lasted for a long time, with both sides suffering heavy losses. But in the end, the war was ended not by force, but by negotiation and mutual respect. To establish peace, the gods agreed to exchange hostages, bringing together the best of both worlds. The Aesir received Freyja, her brother, and Jord from the Vanir, while the Vanir received Honir and Mimir from the Aesir. This exchange brought the two pantheons closer together, and through the blending of their qualities, war and wisdom, with fertility and prosperity, they became unified. The gods, both Aesir and Vanir, play an essential role in maintaining the order of the 9 realms. Their power extends beyond mere magic and strength. They ensure that balance is kept in the cosmos. Odin, as the All-Father, holds the responsibility of ensuring that the fate of the realms is guided by wisdom. His wisdom allows him to see the future, but his choices often come with sacrifices, reminding us that knowledge and power come with a cost. Thor, as the protector of Midgard, defends humanity from the giants and other destructive forces. His role is not only to protect, but to ensure that balance is kept between the realms, making sure chaos doesn't spill over into the human world. Freya, as the goddess of fertility, beauty, and war, ensures that peace and prosperity can flourish while also maintaining the readiness for war when needed. Her balance between love and conflict is key to ensuring both growth and protection for the realms. Loki, despite being a source of chaos, plays a crucial role in shaping the future. Though his actions often lead to trouble, his unpredictable nature sometimes reveals truths and helps the gods navigate their challenges. Together, these gods work in tandem to maintain the balance of the 9 realms, each contributing in their own way to the ongoing cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Without them, the world would fall into disarray. The gods of the Aesir and Vanir may have started as enemies, but their eventual union helped shape the very structure of the 9 realms. Together, they govern, protect, and guide the realms through balance and harmony. But as we'll see in the coming chapters, even the gods are not immune to the forces of fate and destruction. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the epic battles and legendary heroes that make Norse mythology so captivating. Stay with us as we journey through the world of gods, giants, and epic tales. Norse mythology is full of epic stories that are as powerful as they are tragic. From Loki's trickery to Thor's battles and the fateful death of Baldur, the gods of Asgard are constantly caught up in a web of adventure, betrayal, and destiny. In this chapter, we'll explore some of the most unforgettable myths where gods face their greatest challenges and discover their ultimate fates. One of the most infamous stories in Norse mythology revolves around the theft of Idun's apples, the magical fruit that kept the gods youthful. Idun, a beautiful goddess of youth and fertility, kept these apples in her possession, allowing the gods to remain forever young and powerful. But, as always, Loki's trickery leads to trouble. Loki, ever the mischievous god, made a deal with the giant Thjazi. In exchange for the promise of gold, Loki agreed to lure Idun into Thjazi's grasp. Disguised as a falcon, Thjazi snatched Idun and her apples away, trapping the goddess in his realm. Without the apples, the gods began to age rapidly, weakening and growing desperate. To undo the damage, Loki had no choice but to save Idun. Using his cunning, Loki transformed into a falcon once again, rescuing Idun and bringing her back to Asgard. The gods regained their youth, and Loki, though once again the villain, was forgiven. But his mischief would only grow more dangerous in the coming tales. One of the most tragic and inevitable stories in Norse mythology is that of Fenrir, the great wolf, destined to bring about the death of Odin during Ragnarök. Fenrir was the son of Loki and the giantess Angrboda, and from his birth he was feared by the gods. The prophecy was clear. Fenrir would grow so powerful that one day he would be strong enough to kill Odin. To prevent this, the gods decided to bind him. At first, they tried regular chains, but Fenrir broke through them with ease. Realizing they needed something stronger, the gods commissioned the dwarves to create a magical chain, Gleipnir, a chain made from 6 impossible things: the sound of a cat's footsteps, the roots of a mountain, the beard of a woman, and other mystical ingredients. Fenrir, sensing something was wrong, demanded that one of the gods place a hand in his mouth as a sign of trust while being bound. The brave Tyr, god of war, stepped forward and offered his hand. As the gods bound Fenrir with Gleipnir, the wolf realized he had been tricked. In a fit of rage, he bit off Tyr's hand. From that moment on, Fenrir was chained in the ironwood, awaiting the day when he would break free and fulfill his destiny of slaying Odin during Ragnarök. Thor, the mighty god of thunder, is no stranger to battling giants. But his journey to Jotunheim, the land of the giants, is one of the most thrilling. On this journey, Thor, accompanied by Loki, faced some of the greatest challenges of his life. The tale begins when Thor and Loki visit the giant king Utgar the Loki, who tricks them into a series of impossible tasks. First, Thor must drink from a giant's horn, only to find that no matter how much he drinks, the level doesn't seem to go down. What he doesn't know is that the horn is connected to the oceans of the world, and Thor is unknowingly drinking the entire ocean dry. Next, Thor faces the challenge of lifting an old, withered cat. Despite his great strength, Thor can't even budge the creature. But what he doesn't realize is that the cat is actually the great Midgard serpent, Jörmungandr, who encircles the earth. Thor's feat here was truly impossible, yet it revealed the depth of his strength and determination. Lastly, Thor challenges the giant Jörmungandr itself to a wrestling match. And though Thor comes close to defeating the serpent, he ultimately fails. This journey proves Thor's courage, but it also sets the stage for the inevitable battle between Thor and Jörmungandr at Ragnarök. Among the gods, Baldur was beloved. He was the shining light of the pantheon, known for his beauty, wisdom, and purity. But his death would be one of the most heartbreaking and fateful events in Norse mythology. It all began with a prophecy: Baldur would die. This knowledge struck fear into the hearts of the gods, who tried everything they could to prevent it. His mother, Frigg, the goddess of motherhood and fertility, made every object on earth swear not to harm Baldur. But one thing she overlooked was the mistletoe, which was seen as too small and insignificant to pose a threat. Loki, ever the trickster, took advantage of this. Disguised, he tricked Baldur's blind brother Höður into throwing a mistletoe dart at Baldur. The dart pierced Baldur's heart, and he fell dead, the light of the gods extinguished. The gods were devastated. The death of Baldur marked the beginning of the end for the gods, as the fate of the world was now sealed. His death was not just a tragedy for the gods, but a sign that the dark days of Ragnarök were coming closer. These key myths, Loki's theft of Idun's apples, the binding of Fenrir, Thor's journey to Jotunheim, and the tragic death of Baldur, are just a glimpse into the fascinating and complex world of Norse mythology. Each story serves as a reminder of the gods' power, their flaws, and the ultimate fate that awaits them. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the prophecies and the inevitable doom that looms over Asgard, Ragnarök itself. Stay tuned as the fate of the gods and the end of the world approach. The gods knew it was coming. The end of the world, foretold in prophecies, would arrive in a storm of chaos and destruction. This is Ragnarök, the final battle between the gods and the giants. The fate of the cosmos would be sealed in the clash of titans, and the world would burn. let's dive into the terrifying events that lead to the apocalypse and the ultimate destruction and rebirth of the world. Ragnarök is first prophesied by the seeress in the Poetic Edda. The seeress, a wise figure who can see into the future, reveals the tragic fate awaiting the gods and the world. In her vision, she foresees the downfall of the gods, the coming of a great winter, and the rise of chaos. Her prophecy tells of many signs, ominous events that signal the beginning of the end. Among these signs is the Fimbulwinter, a brutal 3-year-long winter that spreads across the world, bringing despair and famine. The sun and the moon will be swallowed by Skuld and Hati, 2 wolves chasing them across the sky. The stars will fall from the heavens, and all will be plunged into darkness and cold. The earth will quake, and the seas will rise, flooding the land. Before the final battle, several catastrophic events unfold that hasten the arrival of Ragnarök. It all begins with Loki's betrayal. After years of trickery and causing trouble among the gods, Loki finally reaches his breaking point. He betrays the gods by aiding the giants in their ultimate goal, the destruction of Asgard. His role in the death of Balder, the beloved god, seals his fate. Loki's actions set in motion a series of tragic events. The Fimbulwinter begins, plunging the world into an endless, unforgiving cold. As crops die and humans suffer, the gods and the world itself are pushed toward an inevitable clash. But the most chilling omen of all is the death of Balder. The gods may have once hoped his death would be an isolated tragedy, but it is the signal that Ragnarök is imminent. Balder's spirit travels to Hel, the land of the dead, where it will remain until the final battle. Finally, the time arrives for the great battle, Ragnarök, the twilight of the gods. In this battle, the gods face their greatest enemies, the giants and the monstrous beings that have long been their foes. Loki, once a trusted member of the Aesir, leads the giants and the forces of chaos. He brings with him the Midgard serpent, Jormungandr, the great wolf Fenrir, and other creatures that threaten the gods. Odin, the Allfather, leads the charge with his warriors, the Einherjar, battling the giants and their allies. But fate is cruel, and the gods cannot escape their destiny. Odin faces off against Fenrir, the wolf that is destined to kill him. Despite his power, Odin is devoured by Fenrir in the battle, marking the fall of one of the greatest gods in Norse mythology. Thor, the god of thunder, has his own fate to fulfill. He battles Jormungandr, the serpent who encircles the world. Though Thor defeats the serpent with his mighty hammer, he succumbs to the serpent's poison shortly after, taking only 9 steps before collapsing dead. Loki himself meets his end at the hands of Heimdall, the watchman of the gods. In a final confrontation, Loki and Heimdall slay each other, ensuring that the end of the gods comes full circle. As the gods fall, the world is consumed by fire and destruction. Surt, the fire giant, leads his forces in setting Asgard ablaze, and the heavens themselves collapse. The very earth is torn apart by earthquakes and floods, consumed by the flames of Muspelheim, the realm of fire. The world is reduced to ashes, a fitting end to a civilization built on the foundations of gods, giants, and men. But as the flames die down and the world is destroyed, it is not the end of all things. From the ashes, a new world will arise, a world free from the tyranny of the gods and giants, a world where hope and renewal will flourish. Vidar, the son of Odin, avenges his father by slaying Fenrir. Vali, the son of Loki, rises to bring justice and peace. Leaf and Life, 2 surviving humans, repopulate the earth, breathing new life into the land. The gods will return in a new form, and the cycle of the cosmos begins again, a rebirth as the old world dies and a new one takes its place. Ragnarök is both an end and a beginning. The death of the gods and the destruction of the world mark the closing of an ancient chapter in Norse mythology, but it also signals the dawn of a new age. The world is reborn, and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth continues in an endless loop. As the gods return in their new forms and life flourishes once again, the legacy of Norse mythology lives on, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is hope, and in every end, there is the promise of a new beginning. From the icy winds of the north to the fiery clash of gods and giants, Norse mythology has shaped the way we understand the world. But even after the fall of Asgard, the legacy of these myths endures. They speak to something timeless, a belief in cycles, in rebirth, and in the power of stories. Let's explore how the myths of old continue to echo through the ages and leave their mark on the world today. In Norse mythology, time is not linear. It doesn't simply move forward from one event to the next. Instead, time is cyclical, an endless cycle of death and rebirth. The gods know that even though Ragnarök will destroy the old world, a new one will emerge from the ashes. This cyclical nature mirrors the rhythms of nature itself. Winter gives way to spring, night to day, death to life. Every ending contains the seed of a new beginning. This powerful concept resonates deeply, not just in the myths, but in the way we approach life. We face struggles, we experience loss, and we endure hardship, but we also rise again. we heal, and we rebuild. The belief in renewal and cyclical change offers hope in the face of adversity, reminding us that even after the greatest catastrophes, the sun will rise again. Norse mythology has left an indelible mark on modern culture. The gods and their adventures continue to captivate our imaginations and inspire countless works of art. Just think of Marvel's Thor. The god of thunder is one of the most recognizable superheroes today, a symbol of strength and heroism. His stories, drawn from ancient myths, have been reinterpreted for a new generation, blending the old and the new. Norse myths have also influenced popular books like The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, whose stories borrow heavily from Norse and Germanic mythology. The themes of brave warriors, epic battles, and enchanted realms can be traced directly back to the old sagas. In video games, like God of War, players engage in the adventures of gods, battling through realms and facing titanic forces that feel straight out of the poetic Edda. The power of these myths isn't just in the characters. They resonate because they speak to our deepest fears and desires. The struggle between order and chaos, the constant battle for survival, and the desire to understand our place in the universe. Despite the passage of time, the enduring power of Norse mythology remains undeniable. These stories, filled with gods, giants, and battles of cosmic importance, speak to universal themes: courage, fate, and the inevitable march of time. They remind us that no matter how great the struggle, the world will continue. Even the gods, those larger-than-life figures, are not immune to fate. The legacy of Norse mythology isn't confined to the past. It has become a living, breathing part of modern consciousness. The stories continue to shape our culture, and their influence can be felt in the stories we tell today. Perhaps, in the end, we are all just living in a world shaped by myths, stories that help us understand who we are, where we come from, and where we're going. As we face our own challenges, the gods of Asgard remind us to be brave, to honor our fates, and to live with the knowledge that every end brings the possibility of a new beginning. From the creation of the world to the fiery end of Ragnarök, Norse mythology has shaped our understanding of the universe. It has taught us to honor the past, embrace change, and find meaning in the cycles of life. Though the gods may have fallen, their stories live on, echoing across the ages. The legacy of Norse mythology is eternal, just as the world itself is forever in flux, ever reborn, and ever remembered.